Welcome back to my kitchen, Gigi's Kitchen, where you get to learn all about prepping and cooking and dining. And today is Sunday, so we're going to have Sunday dinner. And it is going to be a poached salmon, some rice, maybe a little rice pilaf, some asparagus, and sour cream sauce to top it all off. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about our ingredients. This is a Atlantic salmon, but it is farm raised. And so you can see it's the whole fillet. That's how I bought it. This is already cooked jasmine rice. It's cooling because I'm going to put it in a big skillet with some herbs and olive oil and toss it all together at the last minute. Sour cream for our sauce, and then asparagus, which we're going to just parboil a little bit. Here's all my herbs. When we're going to poach this salmon, you're going to get it in a package like this. It's usually sealed. When you take it out of the package, you can see that we unfold it. There's the tail, and here's the belly side. And the most important is this part. You can trim all that off if you want, but I'm going to just leave it all on there, and we're going to put the whole thing in submerged water bath, which is full of herbs. I'm going to turn this over, and I've already washed it in the sink, rinsed it really good with cold water, but you want to make sure you go over it and make sure there's no little scales left on there. Also, usually they're very clean. I really don't have too many problems, but you just run your fingers across there. If you find any little bones, you can take them out, and I don't feel any. I've already checked it, but like right here, I have a big piece of hardness on this, but nobody's going to eat that anyway, so I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to worry about it. So this bad boy is ready for the pot. But what is in our pot? I have a large pan. The whole thing will be submerged in, and in that I'm going to add a cup of white wine. We're going to put about a half a cup of lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice. I've got herbs here. This is chives, dried dill, and herbes de Provence, which is a blend of herbs. It has lavender, marjoram, it has got everything in it. Then I'm going to throw in some fresh thyme and some fresh dill. I've got it right here ready to go. All of that will go into the stock pot. In just a minute we'll get started with all of that. The rice I've already cooked, and I've laid it out here to get a little bit dry, because when I fry it in the big skillet, I kind of want it like a fried rice, but it's going to be herby. So it's going to be a bit crispy when I get done, and a big pile of salmon on the top of it with sour cream topping, which I'll add the same herbs that I'm cooking here. So I have them here. So we have those herbs to go in the sour cream. And of course asparagus. So let's cook. So here we are with our pan of stock. This is just chicken bouillon stock water. It's just plain hot water. It's getting steamy hot, as you can see. I don't want it boiling. I don't want it simmering. I just want it really hot. So I'm going to add to this my cup of white wine, my half a cup of lemon juice, all my dried herbs, and my pile of herbs from the garden, fresh herbs. There we go. Now this is going to get really, really hot. We're going to stir it up. Whoops. Don't want to spill it all over the place. And then the fish goes in. This does not take long to cook. To poach this little fish does not take long. Once I get it going, I can turn the fire way down and then just let it cook. I will cover it with a little foil, and I want to make sure that it stays well submerged. I may even have to put a weight on it to keep it down. But I don't want it to fall apart on me. So just before it starts to simmer, and this pan is really thin, so it will heat up fast. And remember, I'm putting this whole salmon in here, so I need a pan that's going to be big enough to hold this. So I think if I turn it at an angle, it will fit just fine. So we're good and steamy in there. I've got some stock there. Alrighty, let's go in with our salmon. You can add sliced lemons to this too, or lemon rinds. And there he goes. And he's in. And look, he's already turning opaque. Look how fast that is. And he's fitting there perfect. Just perfect. So I'm going to say 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We'll keep an eye on him. We can keep basting him like this if we want to, but I'm going to put a little piece of foil over the top. We're going to let him go for a few minutes, and then we'll test him, see how he does. In the meantime, I'm going to go over here and make some sour cream dip. There we go. Turning off the big flame, turning down the little flame. Here we go. And we're just going to let him sit there and do his thing. So now we're going to start on our rice. So we have the little skillet here ready to go. I've added some olive oil to the bottom. I'm going to add these shallots in here. And we're just going to fry them for a little while to get nice and tender. I have my herbs. Now these are the same herbs that we used in the poaching water, which is the dill, the chives, and our seasoning blend. And it's going to go in too. So it all goes in there. And as you notice, I usually love garlic. Garlic in everything. But this meal is a no garlic meal. It's herby. We want herbs. But I did add the shallots. Here's a little bit of salt. We're going to add some white pepper. And we're going to get this skillet going. Now this is a high heat burner, so it won't take long. But we're just going to get these softened, get this skillet good and hot, and then we're going to toss in our rice. And then we're going to let it all heat together. Toss it a few times, and it'll be ready. And our salmon is coming on. So let's take a look at it. So here's our salmon. Oh, look how pretty that is. Wow. Just like we want. And if I go to the middle and I touch it and it flakes, it's ready. Now, I like my salmon a little creamy on the inside, but some people don't. They like it well done. But look how that is done. That salmon is ready to go. So I'm going to turn the burners off. We're going to take this out in a minute. And I'm going to let it sit for a second. Because with poached salmon is to be eaten cool. It's not usually a hot dish. And since it's summer, this would be a summer evening meal that you would eat with the rice being cool and the salmon cool with the sour cream dollop on the top of it, a little asparagus, and there you have it. Now this is sizzling. So in just a second or two, see how nice and soft that is? That looks really good. There we go. Now here's my jasmine rice going in. Remember, jasmine is a sticky rice. So it's all going to stick together in nice big clumps, and that's what we want. One of the nice things about herbs de Provence is that it has a lavender blend to it. And I can really smell that lavender coming out as we saute this up. So I'm going to turn my flame down a little bit. I'm going to let it sit and just toast. And then we're going to toss it a couple times and it will be ready to go. I think we're about ready to take the salmon out, put it on its platter, and just let it sit and rest until we're ready to serve it. I'm going to take my foil off. And I'm going to set it aside so I can put it back on once I get it on my platter. Now this is the trick. How do we get it out of there without it falling apart? Well, it might not make it, but we're going to do the best we can. And here's my big platter. And then I was thinking, see if I can use my spoons here. Let me get this out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, oops, I knew I wouldn't make it, but that's okay. It's still really good. Right on top of the greens, and they will wilt right up there. Anybody that wants them can have them. We'll take this little piece and put it back on there. There we go. Okay, I'm going to toss this now. You see, it's starting to get crusty on the bottom. All my herbs are in there. I'm going to salt and pepper this probably one more time. Okay, gonna spread it out. That was really good. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt and pepper. And then the rice is ready. There we go. And my white pepper again, another layer. Just gonna keep layering these flavors. Let it go and let it sit, and in a minute I'm going to toss it again. We're going to set this off the stove over here where it'll cool. So let's wrap up our Sunday dinner. Poached salmon, rice, asparagus, and a dill sour cream sauce to put on everything. One thing I want to do is I want to finish up on my asparagus here. Since we did have it ready to go, I'm going to drizzle it with the olive oil. So we've got a nice drizzle on there of olive oil all the way through. And then I'm going to sprinkle it with a good layer of salt. Yum. Kosher salt, crunchy kosher salt. I'm going to add a little bit to the top of this and a little bit to the top of this. And then they can add the salt they want when they get ready. So here we go. We're going to have a bit of rice. With a nice piece of salmon. And hopefully this will peel right off the skin. But if not, you can take the skin with it. They can peel their own skin off. And there we go. Nice big piece of salmon. Maybe a few little greens. Arugula to go with it. Place that on there. There we go. And now we're going to add a little bit of this asparagus to it. A few strands. I got some people who love asparagus around here. And then, of course, we got to have the dill sour cream all dolloped right on the top. And it is ready to go. And there we have it. Sunday dinner, poached salmon. So I'm so glad you came and joined us this week. So come join me for next Sunday dinner. See you then.